Okay, so I thought that it would be kind of fun to show you guys a little bit more about macros, because I know that when I was getting started and trying to figure out everything in fitness and just trying to understand what macros were, how to find them, how to know what is like a high amount of protein, high fat, high carb, all that, I know it can be really confusing, and I thought that it would be fun to help you guys out so it makes it a little bit easier and you can understand, so you're not just looking at it and you're like, what does 7 grams of protein mean? So I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna use a couple of examples so you guys understand. And yeah, so don't forget to subscribe, give this video a like, and follow my Instagram. It's linked down below, and we'll get into it. I wanted to start off with this, one of my favorite things ever. I love yogurt, so good. I actually like to use the Oikos 000 Greek yogurt in flavor of vanilla, because you know we gotta have a little bit of flavor right there. So with Greek yogurt, basically what that is you can get it where it doesn't have fat, so you're not, because most of the time yogurt, if you get full fat yogurt, you're going to be getting a little bit more of higher fat and lower protein. But what I like about this is the 000 Greek yogurt is protein. Okay, so it's the same thing. This is just the big container. So if you go to the food label on the back, you'll see all the nutrition facts. So like for this, you get 3/4 a cup is 110 calories. With that, you get 0 fat, you get 11 carbs, and 17 grams of protein. So if you go and look at that, you're probably like, what does that mean? Okay, so we know, as I said before, usually yogurt full fat is higher fat. This doesn't have any fat, which fats aren't bad, but I just like this because it has more protein in it. And it's just really great for after a workout and just kind of like fuels me up. Carb, 11 grams of carb is not that much, but the 17 grams of protein, that is a lot. Usually if you're wanting to put on a lot of muscle or anything, you might want to aim at most for around 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of body weight. And so see right here, say you weigh 130 pounds, you've already got 17 grams of protein just from this. So that is giving you a ton of protein that is going to help you hit your goal very fast. So again, when you're looking for the macros and everything, the macros will be your fats, carbs, and protein. And right here, we don't have any fats, we have carbs, and we have protein, but protein is very high. So that is how you're going to start looking at it. Next, I wanted to move on to something that has a little bit more of carbs in it, which are these. For 1 rice cake, you get 50 calories. You're getting no fat because these are pretty much just all carb. 11 grams of carbs and less than 1 gram of protein. Now, because this is so small, like a rice cake is usually around like that, 11 grams of carbs, it's a little bit more because you're not getting any protein or fat, so that's pretty much considered like a lot of carbs. But every time you want to look for a macro, you just go to the nutrition facts. And if you haven't watched any of my other videos, carbs and proteins, they are 4 calories per gram. So if you want to calculate that, it is 1 gram of protein is worth 4 calories. So if you have 10 grams of protein, that would be 40 calories, because you have 10 grams times the 4 calories per gram, that would be 40. Same thing for the carbs, that would equal 40 calories. And fats are different. They are 9 calories per gram. They're a little bit higher in calories. That's why a lot of people are scared of fats and nuts and things, because they're mainly made of fats, and fats have more calories per gram than a carb and protein. But fats are there to fill you up, so it's not a big deal, and they help with your hormones, so they're all good. So it would be the same kind of equation for you to calculate the fats. You would just, instead of 4 calories, you would do 9. So say you had 2 grams of fats, you would do 2 times 9, because you have the 2 grams of fat times 9 calories per gram. That would be 18 calories. I'm gonna try to get a graphic and have it up during this so you can tell, but that would be how you figure them up. I also have another video I'll link so you can check that out to learn more about it. So this is granola, my favorite kind of granola, is so good. So this, for a 1/2 cup serving, is 5 grams of fat, it is 40 grams of carbs and 6 grams of protein. So for a half cup, it's an okay amount of protein. 6 grams of protein isn't that crazy. Now, something like a half a cup of this and has 40 grams of carbs, that is a lot. That would be considered a lot because you're only doing a half cup. So let's think about it. A half cup of this granola has 40 grams of carbs. That sounds like a lot, which when you look at the nutrition facts, that's where most of your calories are coming from, because 210 calories for a half a cup, 40 grams of carbs, that's taking over the majority of it, and that's a lot. And then your 5 grams of fat, it's really not that bad. That's not very high in fat. It's pretty standard for most things. You just don't, for fats, if you're looking at a high fat, it's probably gonna have something like 18 grams of fat or something like that. That's more on the high gram, or that's more on the high fat scale compared to like 2 grams of fat or 6 grams of fat, whatever. Anything that's like crazy, that's like 50 grams of carbs or something like that, that means that it's pretty high. And it's very hard to get anything very high protein. Like a high protein would be something like a chicken breast, where you may have 24 grams or something like that of protein for a chicken breast. So that would be considered high protein because you don't need that much protein in your diet, especially if you're not working out. If you are, like I said, maybe 1 gram per pound. If you look at like an overall macro scale, like on MyFitnessPal, I'll put up a picture here. Your macro scale is like a circle, like a pie chart. You may have 50% of your diet comes from carbs, 30% is fats, and 20% is protein. So when you look at that and you look at, you know, how much or how many grams of protein and fats and carbs that makes up for your diet, then you can kind of tell what is high carb, what's high fat, high protein. But again, like I said, since you don't need as much protein in your diet compared to the other macros, something like 10 grams of protein or 20 grams of protein, that's considered a higher amount. Whereas, you know, 20 grams of carbs, not that crazy, because you're getting about 50% of your diet from carbs if you work well with carbs. Some people work well with higher fat or higher protein, just depending. You have to kind of figure out what works best for you. And yeah, if you have any more questions or want me to elaborate on that, let me know, because I do want to make sure that I'm getting it out to you guys and making it understandable, because I don't want you guys to be like, what is she saying? Yeah, so I hope that made sense. I'm gonna go. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I love you. Don't forget to check out my Instagram, and I'll see you later. Bye.